Hey guys, AJ here, back with another one for you. So guys, I talk about a lot of dumb things that these 304s do over here, okay? So between getting these gender studies degrees, getting debt, having kids out of wedlock, guys, right? This whole strong and independent chick culture.
I am woman, hear me roar, in numbers too big to ignore.
Right? I have to say that the dumbest thing that I can think of that these knuckleheads talk about is this born again virgin foolishness. Clown world, right? Hey guys, they call it born again virgins, purity culture, second virgins, right? Clown world. That's what we call it. So guys, I have an article here called "Why I Decided to Become a Born Again Virgin," right? And of course, it's written by some chick. We're gonna get into this, but before we do, guys, like, subscribe, drop a comment because it really helps keep this channel going. Check out my second channel, linked in the description. Check out the playlist at the end, guys. But let's go to the dumpster fire known as TikTok first and see what they have to say over there.
Just a friendly reminder that you can be a born-again virgin. I had someone say to me, "Don't you think you're too old to be a virgin?" I said, "Excuse me? I'm a new creature in Christ.
Oh,
I'm
please.
the same person that I used to be. I gave my life to Christ. I'm saved now. So when you are saved, you're a new creature in Christ." So yes, I am a virgin. And you can be one too. Don't let anybody tell you that you can't start over fresh, because yes, you can.
Look at that.
You can be 100 years old and decide that you want to be a born
Oh, Christ.
Have a blessed and productive day, guys.
Look at that.
First of all, stay beautiful.
Look at that, guys. Her hashtags, hashtag abstinence, hashtag celibacy, hashtag virgin, hashtag born again virgin, hashtag Jesus talk, hashtag gospel TikTok, hashtag church girl, hashtag believer, hashtag Christianity talk, hashtag trust God's plan, hashtag born again. Clown world, guys. Look at that. And all these chicks in her comments. Right on. You're a queen. You're my sister in Christ, right? Look at that. Look at that, guys. You're doing the right thing. Clown world. The delusion is strong. Clown world.
Pay attention to the men in your lives who respect your purity. We live in a day and age where everybody is trying to get some, give some, find some, build some, have some.
Including
And
these
to me, it
304s.
speaks volumes when a man is not a slave to his flesh. You don't have to know what my goals are when it comes to sexuality or sex or what I have done or what I'm thinking of doing. The fact that a man can, on his own, decide that he's going to respect you and he sees you as a sister or daughter in Christ and wants to honor your purity, whether it's celibacy, abstinence, whether it's you being a virgin, I think that should.
You see there, guys, how she grouped celibacy and abstinence in with being an actual virgin? Right there, guys. Right there. And this is more that take me as I am foolishness.
Be honored and respected. To die of your flesh is not easy, especially if you've opened that door. So I urge you, my sisters, to trust God about your sexual chemistry with your partner. Trust God about waiting. Trust God about not doing what everybody else is doing. Trust God about holding yourself. And even if you've had sex before, you can always go and be abstinent or go and be celibate. You can always go to the Father about your concerns, about your mistakes, about your experiences. And He can provide for you a beautiful experience when it's time for you to experience.
Clown world.
One thing I have seen in my own life and the friends around me and people I know is we so badly want to be desired and loved and held and wanted that we put ourselves in predicaments and we actually get burned quicker and burnt worse. And you can't mix with a person who does not respect their flesh, who does not honor their own body. They're not going to know how to honor yours.
So, guys, I'm going to stop this really, really fast because, like I said, leave it to these 304s. This chick has talked for 2 minutes and 7 seconds and hasn't said anything. All words, just vomiting of words, just stream of ridiculous consciousness, right? All she's saying is you should be entitled to hold your vajayjay over a guy. Okay? And if he doesn't actually hold out and pay new prior prices for a used car with 2 accidents on the Carfax, then he's not a Christian man or whatever. Clown world. Guys, her hashtags. Hashtag purity culture. Hashtag lessons learned. Hashtag transparency. Hashtag Christian TikTok. Hashtag born again virgin. Look at that. Hashtag abstinence and hashtag celibacy.
So get around men who honor themselves. Get
Simps,
around men
betas.
who honor you. Get around women who urge you to honor your temple.
Other 304s.
Because as we align with God, there's a lot of things that we should not be doing. And it does not mean that the desire will go away, but your desire to be pleasing to God will make those desires that you have easier to not fulfill. It'll make it easier because you know that it's just a temporary wait. God is going to give you everything and more than what you need. So honor the people around you, honor yourself, and look to God for guidance when you're struggling in the season of purity and waiting.
Right there, guys. Right there. So in other words, isn't it funny how she can say, oh, girls, you need to make men do this, right? They can say all this goofy empowerment stuff for guys. But once a guy says, yo, guys, don't fall for this, and have any type of a video to empower guys to not deal with this, all of a sudden it's,
How dare you?
guys, don't pay new car prices for a freaking a 2001 Chevy Malibu with 3 car accidents and a busted wheel on the back. Clown world. I told you guys. I told you, clown world. Look at this. Now, guys, there are guys who have these tradcon idiots who are like, I'm going to wait until marriage too, just like that knucklehead Crowder, right? Man, can you think of anyone that's more of a beta than that? Okay, so it says, so growing up in the Christian church, we talked about how virginity was the greatest gift that you can give to your husband. In our culture, not having sex before marriage was just a rule that you didn't break. So the importance of virginity was ingrained in my head, and I'd assume that I'd wait for that special problem. For that special person, no problem. So let's skip ahead. She said that she met a guy when she was 16, entered math class. He was a musician. Of course he was. It sounded weird, but then I liked him, I was surprised, and I wanted to be intimate. I never thought that I'd want to have sex because my friends and I, in our early teenage naivete, found the idea of sex to be so unappealing. Turns out I did want it. We made out before, so once we were official, the physical part moved pretty fast. Thinking back on it now, no one told me how strong your sex drive is. You guys notice how she's trying to dodge, dip, duck, dive, and dodge accountability? It wasn't my fault, it was my sex drive. Clown world. Okay, so thinking back on it now, so no one told me how strong your sex drive is. So I guess I wasn't prepared to deal with the urge. Probably a month or so after we began dating, we started touching each other. 5 to 6 months in, we had, the mouth stuff. I justified it by telling myself that it wasn't really sex. What is she, Mormon? Look at that. She said, I felt guilty for crossing the line. The details are fuzzy about the night that I actually lost my virginity because it wasn't a great memory. We were hanging out at his house the summer before I went to college. So we're making out, and finally I was like, well, what the hell? Let's just do it. He and I were fighting a lot around that time. So I think that my resolve to stay a virgin was wearing out. I asked him to put on a rubber. We started having sex. About 2 minutes in, I freaked out. We stopped. Look at that. So then she tried to tell herself that because it was so short, that it didn't happen. Clown world. Look at that. So she broke up, went to college, and wasn't praying anymore, stopped taking communion. She said, well, shit, I'm not a Christian at all, so now let's have some sex. Look at that, guys. Look at that. She goes to college, says God doesn't love me anymore, so... Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that, guys. So now she says, God had many thoughts after reading the Bible. I realized he had forgiven me, of course, because all chicks see God as some cosmic Santa Claus, right? Look at that. During the second semester of my freshman year, I became a born-again virgin by vowing to forego sex until marriage, but it wasn't a success right away. It was a messy process. I hooked up with more guys, sometimes while I was drunk. There it is! So in the process of her becoming a born-again virgin for Poindexter that she's going to marry, she's nailing Chad and Tyrone. Clown world. Look at that. I started dating a super hot guy who I had crazy chemistry with. I knew that I couldn't take him back to my apartment. After a few months, it was pretty clear that we needed to end things. I think that abstaining from being physically intimate. So with that guy, out of all the other guys, she didn't give him any, and he left. Look at that. After a year of completely swearing off men, I hooked up with 2 more guys. Look at that. Look at that, guys. 3 years later, I think about what led up to me becoming a virgin again. And I realized I was just being human. My friends who attempted to save for sex for marriage are actually a pretty wild bunch. Of course they are. Of course they're all 304s. Look at that. So this person's just basically saying that you can just choose to be a virgin anytime. Look at that. Look at that. I'm not naive anymore. I get why people want to make sure that they're compatible in the bedroom. But before committing to someone, and I know that there's a chance that my future husband and I might not have the best sex in life, but marriage still seems like the ideal context for sex to me. Look at that. It makes sense to me that deep trust and faithfulness can lead to passionate, uninhibited sex. That's what I'm waiting for. So, guys, whoever this chick is, there's some knucklehead out there that she's gonna wait until marriage. Guess what? I'm a virgin. I don't have a lot of bodies. And guess what? You're gonna find out, Playboy.
You've been had. You've been took. You've been hoodwinked. Bamboozled. Led astray. Run amok.
Clown world. Guys, if you're ever out on a date with a chick or talking to a chick, and she says she's celibate or a born-again virgin or even uses the word virgin, guys, get up and walk away. Okay? Guys, come on. Especially if she's in her mid to late 20s. Come on, man. There's no way. Unless she's from like a Muslim country or something, or she's like a Mormon. Because, guys, Washington State, where I lived, I know girls, you know what I mean? Well, they used to do backdoor stuff. So, guys, there's no such thing as a virgin in her 20s. And if there is, they're probably so weird and awkward or strange that you don't even want to talk to them anyways. So, guys, be careful out there. And, guys, anytime Christianity's involved, don't let these tradcon morons try and shame you guys into doing stuff. Okay? Into marrying these chicks. Don't do it, guys. You got to do what's best for you. All right, you guys, this is AJ. I appreciate you guys like, subscribe, and I am out of here. Have a good one, guys.